Coming up on DC News Now.
It will start to feel stifling again on Thursday. We'll detail out how hot and humid it's going to be for the upcoming weekend.
The pools are open for Juneteenth, how people in D.C. are beating the heat.
Eyes turn to November's election after people voted in Virginia's primary. A look ahead to the battle in the 7th Congressional District.
Celebration of black culture and businesses here in National Harbor. Coming up, we'll tell you how Prince George's County is celebrating Juneteenth.
And we're stretching your dollar when it comes to sprucing up your outdoor spaces. How you can save on seeds and supplies.
You're watching the station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
And thank you for joining us on this Wednesday for DC News Now at 4. I'm Mark Hall.
And I'm Tosin Fakile. Before we get to our top stories, we begin with the weather as we enter day 3 of a heat wave.
You're taking a live look outside right now at the Washington Monument. Again, another hot day in the DMV.
And we just can't catch a break just yet. But how long are we still in this? Meteorologist Damon Matson here. All right, Damon, 3 days down. How many more days to go?
Plenty more. Let's just put it that way at this point. Yeah, folks, these 90s have continued to be common, but today we actually got a slight break from Mother Nature. It wasn't in terms of the temperatures, but it was in terms of that humidity. Check it out. We have 91 in DC, the 3rd day in a row in the 90s, though if we look out across the rest of the DMV, we still have some upper 80s. It's not a whole lot of a difference, but hey, we'll take a few degrees cooler, at least out of the 90s in places like Manassas and Winchester. Here's the difference, folks. The humidity today has been much lower than the last couple of days, and that means heat index values. That feels like temperature is just about spot on with the air temperature. It's not drastically higher by any means, and yesterday and Monday we saw those heat index values up toward, if not exceeding, 100 degrees, and thankfully again we're not dealing with that kind of sweltering heat and humidity here today. So no question, it's going to remain hot as we go throughout the rest of this evening going into the start of the night, but the humidity should remain low over the next several hours, so we will not be having to deal with that, but it's set to return on Thursday, and we're about to enter into the worst of this heat wave coming up into the weekend. We'll talk about just how hot and humid it's about to get over the next few days coming up here in just a bit.
All right, Damon, thank you. And people were going to still be outdoors despite the heat.
That's right. One of them, DC News Now's Dave Laval. He's outside joining us from Point Gravely next to Reagan National Airport. Dave, how are people feeling out there? Because I'm sure you've seen people outside.
Well, hey there, Mark and Tosin can tell you got a lot of smiles from people, not because of all the jets that are coming into the airport, but because it actually feels a lot nicer than it has over the last couple of days, and that's due in great part to the breeze that we have here. People are out riding their bikes along the trails, going for a walk, relaxing with friends and family. Some do bird watching, the really big birds that we just mentioned that take off and land at Reagan National Airport. Just some of the ways they spend time outdoors. People also remember to wear loose-fitting, light-colored clothes, use sunscreen, and not overexert themselves. It's still hot, though, but we have not heard too many people complaining today, including Bill Milby.
There's no humidity, and there's an excellent breeze. So as long as you're moving, got some sunscreen on, I think it's perfect. I think it's supposed to be hotter next few days, but right now it's absolutely perfect day to celebrate the holiday.
You also want to make sure that you stay plenty hydrated during this heat wave. The CDC recommends 8 ounces of water every 15 to 20 minutes. Now, some of the things you want to avoid, energy drinks, those can actually create heart issues, and alcohol can leave you dehydrated. We're live in Arlington. Dave Laval, DC News Now.
All right, Dave, stay cool out there. And for more weather news and to keep track of the extreme heat, visit our website by scanning the QR code. That's right there on your screen.
Prince William County police say that 2 people were pinned between 2 RVs. They say that it happened in the parking lot in the Campus World in Manassas. Investigators say that both people involved in the accident were transported to the hospital via helicopter. No word has been made available on their conditions.
Well, DC News Now is your local election headquarters. Almost all of Virginia's congressional races are set after Tuesday's primary.
And all eyes will be on Virginia's 7th district between Democrat Eugene Vindman and Republican Derek Anderson. DC News Now's Leonard N. Fleming joins us in Woodbridge.
Yes, the upcoming battle between Eugene Vindman and Derek Anderson, both military veterans, is expected to raise millions in spending. Republican Derek Anderson, an attorney and former Army Green Beret, will face Democrat Eugene Vindman, a retired Army colonel who became famous for his role in Trump's impeachment. Both are vying to win the seat being vacated by Democrat Abigail Spanberger, who is running for governor of Virginia next year. Larry Sabato at the University of Virginia Center for Politics says the nation's eyes will be on this race.
The 7th will get an enormous amount of attention, partly because of Vindman. That one is going to draw a lot of cash. Republicans believe that their nominee is the best one of the bunch. They got the nominee they wanted, and Democrats got the nominee they wanted.
We will hear from both candidates coming up in the 5 p.m. hour on what they plan to do going into the November campaign. Reporting from Woodbridge, Virginia, Leonard N. Fleming, DC News Now. Back to you.
All right, Leonard, thank you. And new tonight, a Maryland state trooper in his patrol car was hit by a suspected impaired driver. The trooper says a 37-year-old woman crashed into his marked car in a work zone on Interstate 495 and Green Tree Road in Montgomery County. It happened at about 1 a.m. this morning. No injuries were reported. The woman was arrested at the scene.
First responders were called to American University yesterday after they say a person got their hand stuck in a vending machine. Officials say that they were called around 7:30. When they were able to free the person's hand, they were able to evaluate them at the scene.
Well, military families are upset after Virginia Senate gavelled in for hours on Tuesday to address changes made to a Virginia military program, only to do the opposite. Tensions boiling over after the Democratic-controlled Virginia State Senate failed to take any action on bills to repeal recently made changes to the Virginia Military Survivors and Dependents Education Program. Now, despite support from Republicans and even some in her own party, Senate Finance and Appropriation Committee Chair Luis Lucas decided there would be no debate on repealing language, making it harder for families to access a program that waives college tuition for the kids and spouses of qualified disabled military veterans.
I took a day out of my life, I took a day out of my child's life to be here, as did many of my friends, as did a lot of our supporters. And to be shuttled back and forth and, oh, it's not going to be heard, and it's ridiculous. It's just ridiculous.
The House of Delegates will return to Richmond on June 28th, and it is expected they'll vote to repeal the recent changes to the program. The bills would then have to go back to the Senate, where it could face the same hurdles it did yesterday. Well, today's Juneteenth, and celebrations are happening across the country commemorating the end of slavery in the United States.
And in Frederick County, the Catoctin Furnace Historical Society is doing just that by celebrating African-American people who helped build up most of the area. Frederick County reporter Skylar Salas has more.
Yeah, that's right, guys. Juneteenth is a time to celebrate the freedom of African-American slaves. And here at Catoctin Furnace, they are celebrating and remembering the 271 enslaved iron workers who constructed most of the buildings around Thurmont, Maryland.
Because of an accident of history in the late 1970s, early 1980s, we have an intact African-American cemetery in which the remains of the skilled iron workers from this industrial site were buried.
Those 271 iron workers were what President of the Catoctin Historical Society, Elizabeth Calmer, calls the foundation of what many buildings around Frederick County were built on. She says because of this, it's important to celebrate them.
In the furnace, doing all of the skilled jobs, iron workers, you name it, the iron workers here and the people who made this furnace work were enslaved Africans.
For Crystal Emery, the history that runs through the property also runs through her.
My third great-grandfather is Robert Patterson, and he and his family were the only free people of color that worked at the furnace here at Catoctin prior to the Civil War.
Because of the Catoctin Furnace being so well preserved, people like Emery have been able to take a look at what life was like for the iron workers and how impactful they were to the area.
I'm honored to be able to walk where he might have probably walked. He might have come in here, he could have went in the store.
Their ancestors, either directly or collectively, contributed so much to what became the United States.
Reporting in Thurmont, Maryland, Skylar Sahalas for DC News Now.